So I'll just go ahead with this, with you. And let's just go into the presentation saying that, again, hey guys, this is Vinney Chopra with the podcast, Apartment Syndication Made Easy, Positivity Brings Profitability, Abundance Mindset with Vinney Chopra and Vinney and Bo Show. So all these different, reels and shorts and everything are coming out in the media to bring value to you. And I have in my camp today, Jim Lee. Jim is going to take us through a journey, who he is, what's his powerhouse, what's his power. I say superpowers are, and why is he so excited about life? We're going to dig into all that. So let me go ahead and come back here. Yeah, Jim Lee is here. Jim, share with me. I'm trying to picture over here. What did I do? Am I recording? Am I sharing with you, or what's going on?
You are recording.
I ate, darling. I ate. Yeah.
Would you like me to send you the bio?
Oh, no. Well, no, you go ahead and tell me about it. You do
Sure.
send me the bio and your picture also. No problem. My editors will be able to play with that. But, I have another meeting coming up at 2:30. So we want to wrap it up, no problem. So let's go into it. You should, oh yeah, view. I got it. Gallery view. That's where I'm not. And my, author is there, but that's not going to show up in our things. So tell me more. What's your superpower? Who is Jim Lee? Tell me that.
Yeah, so I attained an economics degree with UCLA back in 2010, right after the subprime mortgage crash and the European debt crisis.
Yes.
And it was a difficult time to find a job, but right out of college, I just wanted to work. I wanted to get some experience, and
yes,
fortunately, I was able to land my first job working as an inside sales rep at LoopNet. So for those who aren't familiar with LoopNet, it's basically Zillow for commercial real estate.
Yep.
Right? And, I was able to speak to real estate investors, lenders, property managers on a daily basis. And I learned the importance of having multiple stream of income.
Yep.
And so I started acquire real estate for additional passive income. And eventually I built a sustainable real estate portfolio that I managed to break away from my W-2 job and started, a career in real estate syndication.
Oh, wonderful. Good for you. Where are you located?
Diamond Bar.
Oh,
California.
Diamond Bar. I know exactly where there is. Cerritos, Diamond Bar, Southern California. Oh, I know exactly. I have some friends who live there. I'm in the San Francisco area in Danville, Black Hawk area. That's where I live. We've been living here 43 years and just loving our life here. The key thing is what you just said, LoopNet is bought by CoStar, as most of us know, and LoopNet is not the same thing. Of course, Crexy has come and a lot of other platforms have come. Not only that, the whole equation has changed. Everybody listening to me, because now Marcus and Millichap, CBRE, you look at all these Transwestern, all these people, they have their own websites where they have all the information on their deals and listings and everything. So, I use all kind of things. CoStar, I love them. And my partners and I, we build hotels now. We are buying hotels. And of course, multifamily is bloody bath right now, with everything hitting the ceiling, and interest rates up and the market went down. I think they're going to jack up the interest rate again. Insurance costs going 300 to 400% up. It's just mind boggling what's going to really be hitting the, So what's your thinking on that? What's going to fixing to happen? These operators, naive operators who overpaid, and now they are just going to lose these assets and investors' money.
Well, I mean, they better come up with something quick to cut down costs, improve, make your operation more efficient. I mean, that's what most people are doing these days, right? Like this year, instead of doing deals, I feel like a lot of operators are more working on improvements on the operation side. But to answer your question, what's happening with all those people that's under the water? Well, I mean, they have their hands tied behind their back. They have to raise more capital. They have to dilute their shares.
Yep.
If they're forced in a situation where they need to refi and they can't, well, you have to sell it. You're gonna have to sell it at a discount. It's just it's just the nature of the game, right? If you over leverage. So
So true, so true. Again, I hope some of the people have increased values over value adds or whatever they've done so far. But seems like the operators who just were not, they were just, I mean, it was a bull market, let's just call it, 14 years bull in the stock market. Then last 5, 7 years have been just mind blowing for multifamily, particularly in that class. Of course, office is taking a big dip. It's just bloodbath over there, all these. And I'm finding two markets which are really, and I'd love to get your opinion on it. One is hospitality, which is at the all-time high ADRs, average daily rates, and highest occupancy rates. Wow. COVID has done a special turnaround 180 degrees for hospitality in the tourist attractions and different things, and near to airports because people have to fly, things like that. The other art I want to get your opinion on is assisted living. I know I've been promoting that all my last 4 years or so, 5 years, because 10,000 baby boomers are turning 65 every night, and 4,000, 70, and so on. There are a lot more need of multifamily, of course, residential also, assisted living, which is like 8 units, or 8 people in a house, or 10 people in a house, or 16 people in a house. But because of the multifamily aspect, which I've been doing quite a lot, what's your thinking on those two markets? I kind of been saying that's a blue ocean. It's not blooded yet.
That's a good description. I like it. I mean, you're a very smart man. It sounds like you're very savvy, and you're definitely, looking at what's trending, right? Hospitality and RCFE, because I actually study both of them too. And I think, I think with hospitality, a lot of people are doing it because you're going to be able to generate more return on investment versus long-term rental. That's given, right? If you invest correctly in the right markets, in the right place, during the right season, it's going to pick up. It's going to generate massive amount of returns. The only downfall for hospitality I see is the regulation, the land of regulation, landmines. It could happen anywhere, right? Even including the states that's currently not that's allowing Airbnb. Who knows? A year later, it might not be. So that's one thing you have to be aware of, and that's why diversification comes in, right? And that's the beauty of syndication, right? That's why you and I are both in it.
I'm so glad you're saying that, Jim, because yesterday I was meeting with Mike Fritz, I don't mind mentioning, my student, and he said, Vinney, you taught me the art of raising money, and I am finding I can buy businesses with that money. I said, wow. He says, yeah, because you are asking to have any kind of real estate that brings cash flows. And when the cash flows dried out, very smart man, he says, I just pivoted, which I should learn from him, by the way. He's got $80 million raised, 80, $80 million. And he's buying manufacturing businesses and other businesses and so forth, cash flowing businesses, people who are retiring. He's able to hone in those businesses and not buy the real estate, but the business part of it. And operationally, he's making, better those businesses to bring cash flow to the investors. So I just love, when people are able to, syndicators like you and I mean, let's not limit ourselves. Let's not limit ourselves. The beauty is in raising money, in doing it right through the SEC ruling, 506B or C. And now I've done C's now because I want to really advertise and go out there and work with only accredited investors, which they are safer to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
What's your, strategy, and what are you buying now? Let me ask you that.
Right now, again, just going back to what I said earlier, it's all about improving the operation. I looked at a lot of deals. it's great, but it doesn't pencil out because interest rates is too high.
Yeah.
You know, your the interest rate is like 2 times, 3 times more versus 10% drop in price. That doesn't make sense.
And insurance, brother. How are you
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
with
insurance.
insurance?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's skyrocketing. Somebody texted me. They said, Vinny, it was 88,000, went to 199. New quote is 299. I said, what? Yeah. They said, do you know anybody who could give us less insurance? That is a downfall of lots of commercial real estates. I'm telling you, in Florida and Texas, which are on the top of the hill. I'm so glad I've sold quite a few properties. 26 I've sold in my Texas portfolio. Done.
Mhm.
And here's, I mean, in the Florida, I think I've sold 4 or 5, and I have some, but that's going to be really a big drawer to take the cash flow away. And then that could be trouble for some of us too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's something that I'm watching out as well because I invest in Florida,
Mhm.
Orlando, and Jacksonville, and
Oh, you do? Yeah.
yeah, it's hit us pretty hard as well. So
It does. So let me ask you a question. How are you set up? What do you give the audience some powerful jabs, how to raise money in this market where people are kind of, holding back and they're looking at interest rate hikes and stock market going down 500% today, in the morning. And right now it's 366, it finished at 366. And I was buying stocks this morning because when it's down, my good stocks are down. I want to buy them, buy nibble, right? Cost
yeah.
average. I'm not promoting any investment here, but that's the key. But how are you taking it? Right now, how are you getting investors to give you money?
That's a very great question. I'm still struggling, and I'll be upfront with you, be honest with you, because I just started syndicating. My first 2 deals was last
Okay.
year. It closed the end of July of last year.
All right.
And yeah, so as you know, that's when the market shift. They say when you do your first deal, that's going to be the hardest. Well, tell me about it, right? It was extremely difficult to get that deal across the finish line. We had to backfill it as well,
Oh,
So
wow. Yeah.
yeah. So it was a bit of a challenge. And now what I can tell you is I'm still struggling, but I'm enjoying the journey, right? I'm pretty sure you heard of something like, success is not in the destination, it's in the journey. And I can relate to that because I'm building my marketing machine, my digital platform, basically by
Mhm.
writing newsletter, ebook, putting myself out there, be on your podcast shows,
Mm.
hosting webinar, volunteer at real estate meetup club, hosting my own real estate meetup club, locally, just doing all the things that I can to constantly putting myself out there to, build brand awareness and identity, and eventually, also just be able to attract an audience and get them to know you first. If nobody knows you, you're not going anywhere. So that's the
Powerful.
first.
So,
Yeah.
so powerful, Jim, what you're just saying. That's so right on target. I think a lot of wannabes are there. A lot of people want to get, pick up information on the internet or do coaching and all that. All that is not going to worth a dime unless they put themselves out and market themselves, because people will only give them a little bit money. Close friends might give them, but if they want to expand their horizon, they need to do some marketing and do some podcasts like you're saying, and get uncomfortable. I say that, right? If you
Mhm.
stay in the comfort zone, you're going to stay there. But you got to really start with your family, friends, people. I try to teach, circle of influence from within. And that way, get a couple of deals like you under contract and all, then you deliver on them, then those people will bring you more people. But again, get into everything what you just said. I would love everybody to go back and listen to that. What you said is what's needed to do well in this market. You hit the nail on the head, really nail on the head. Website, the life has become so social now, so open. People like to Google right away where you have been, where you're going, and then you got to build your strength, or I think, like the credibility is so important, so important. So
Mm.
what you're saying is, I totally agree with you. I know 16 years back, I got into this business, but the key thing was that you got to put time and energy in the right systems, right? What you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, just enjoy it. I'm passionate about the business that you and I are in. I'm a big believer in syndication,
Mhm.
because I just love just had the idea to be able to help others and not just myself reach financial freedom, the ability to give back to everyone. And so,
Totally, brother. I don't know if you read my book or not,
I
but
have, I
oh,
have.
you have. Oh, thank you. I didn't
Yeah.
know. I should have asked. But this is the guy right here who came with $7, and this is changing now to 1 billion right over here. As we speak, they're changing that on the internet, so people will be able to get that. But you're right, syndication will be changing your life even for the more. You got to stay in it. A lot of people give up. Everything comes with a lot of gumption, a lot of hard work, perseverance, rejection, everything like that. But don't give up. Don't give up, because syndication, raising money legally, will take you to the level that you have never dreamt of. Don't get really stymied with bloodbath going on in multifamily. That was just one of the things. Of course, look at this way too. The bloodbath will give you opportunities. I say that always, that people can pick up some good product in about 6 months or a year or something. Some people who cannot stay above water, they'll be selling their assets, 10 units, 15, 20, 30, 50, 100, whatever units. Low units will be, not too many big boys will come to get that. So that's where one can really make a big hay in getting the good quality assets at the lower range, 100 units lower than that. And then after 100, 152, 3, 400, big boys come in, right? So people like me, I'm buying 50 million to 100 million at a pop, right? So no. What other gifts you want to give to the audience? Then we'll wrap up. How can people reach you?
Gifts. Well, no. I mean, the question I always get asked is, what would I do differently? What would I tell my younger self?
Mhm.
So something like that, a question like that, I would tell the audience that, just keep open-minded. It's that I'll be based on, I'll just tell a little bit about my personal story. I
Please.
used to be very close-minded, and it's kind of like, when you talk about politics, are you far right or far left? And so, like, I now I look at life like I don't choose sides. I look at, life as, a coin. There's
Mhm.
actually three sides to the coin: the heads, tail, and the edge.
And the edge, yeah.
Exactly. It's just stay on the edge, and you get the best of both worlds. And how I can relate to that is, me growing up, my parents raised me to have the savers mentality: save every penny, every dime you have, right? I come from a Taiwanese culture background. And my first deal, the 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom condo, I bought it all cash offer, short sale. Took me a year to close. And then after I bought the condo, I realized how uneducated I was. So I picked up the Purple Bible, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I
Yes.
learned the importance of using debt as leverage, tax write-off, all that
Good
stuff.
point.
So
Yeah.
so that's what I mean by two sides of the coin. Now I know how to save money, but I also know how to use good debt as leverage.
Yes. Again, this is the best ending to the podcast, because good debt is the very good debt, not the debt on your luxury car, not on your yacht or other things, or, things that are collecting dust. I'm learning myself. I'm a big shopaholic myself. But no, how can people reach you, Jim?
They can check out my website, formosainvesting.com. I wrote a short 20-pager ebook. It just talks
Good.
about my real estate journey from investor to syndication and all the mistake I made, so you don't have to make them. And then they can also connect me with social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, at Formosa Investing.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much for spending the time. I value your time, Jim, and God bless you. And we'll see you next time, next episode, very soon.